So real quick, I want to do a comparison of the amp with the mic and the digital guitar amp sims. The same song. Now with this one, there's drums, but the levels are all wrong, and like I did it for an entire day and I was tired. It's not finished. It's just a demo. This one is the digital guitar with no drums. So it's like, this is what the digital sounds like. So what the digital is it's more clear and more responsive, but it lacks the warmth and punch and impact of a mic amp. So you just got to decide, like, do I want the clarity or do I want the realism? So now here's the amp. But something fucked up with the mic. I knocked the mic to the side and didn't even realize it like the whole time. So it's actually going to be more clear than it sounds here. That's the real amp with the mic at the wrong angle. Yeah, I'm going with the amp. Fuck it, I don't care. See, you could tell, like, it's real. But damn, it also says something good about the digital, because how close the digital sounds to the amp. But honestly, look, I'll show you right now. No bullshit, I'll show you right now. I gotta clean the lens, but hold on. That's what happened to the mic. I knocked the friggin' stand, and it's like, at the wrong... It's supposed to be like this. Right? Like straight on shotgun mic, but I fucking hit it. So anyway, it's not gonna be perfect. I still like it better. Alright, one more time with the digital. See what I'm saying? It's clear, but it's like synthetic and fake. Alright, let's listen to Clean. This was a setting in Cubase called Jazzy Clean. Alright, now let's listen to the real one. I don't know, I gotta go with the amp, bro, the real one. I will take the slightly less clarity for the authenticity every single time, dude. That's a $300 amp, dude. With the mic in the wrong spot. Like, come on, dude, it's awesome. Alright, let's check out the digital again. See, like, I think I've conclusively proven what I already knew, that people try to fucking gaslight and argue because they're just insecure fuckheads in music trying to be important, and that's what insecure fuckheads in music trying to be important do. They make unimportant shit important because they're trying to make themselves seem important, so they attach to shit, and they'll attach to particular narratives instead of the facts. Right? The great equalizer that takes away people's ego and shit. The plain and neutral facts. So I think, once again, I've proven it. Even though I already knew and said that was going to happen. And then I get gaslighted and, like, abused. It's just like, come on. So what I always said was the digital amp sims have more clarity, more clearness. But it makes it seem synthetic because it's, like, too sterile. It's too synthetic. It's too homogeneous. It's too mechanical sounding. It's too much to one extreme. The amp is like, you might lose a little bit of that clarity, but it's like you have the full impact and the full warmth and the full, like, so they call it sag. The sagginess of, like, the amp sound. It's like you can adjust all that shit with the tube amps and you can adjust it with this amp, but it's like, how, do you want it really tight or do you want it flubbery and saggy? I like it flubbery and saggy because I play tight. So in a weird way, it cancels out and I can make the flubbery, loose sag sound tight with my playing. And everybody I know who has, like, a little bit weaker technique and more simplistic music, they have these ultra processed synthetic tight sounds. You can do that. It's based on, subconsciously, you're setting it based on how you play. Like, you're testing the sound, dialing shit in as you're playing. And then you're finding, that's how you're basing the sound. But these guys that are uninformed and uneducated in sound and audio will try to say, no, bro, it's just, I'm like, you give it to me and I'll pick it super hard and it'll come out different than you. So you think that it's an objective fact and you think it's an objective fact and you're just setting a setting that's the same for everybody. It's not going to be the same because it's about how you play. But when it's subconsciously happening and you don't know that's why, you just think, oh, well, I'm just setting a digital parameter and that's it. No, dude, it's how you're controlling the pickups and how hard or light you play. And then you're subconsciously setting it based around that. Like, you think it's just sounding good, but it's not going to sound good when I play it because I pick super hard. I need a looser, more open sound. I can get away with that because my technique is airtight and ironclad. You play super feathery light, so you need, on the top end, you need the equipment to go the rest of the way. So it's like you got the front end of your hand, you got the pickup that's the middle ground, and then you got the back end, the top end of the amps and shit. Some guys have a super open sound because they're making the pickups do it by playing harder and tighter. On the top end, some guys, but like I said, there's no right or wrong. It's just it's based on how you play. So then, instead of needing me in the middle and foregoing their ego and going, yeah, that makes sense, and all right, fair enough, they fucking fight more because they're loser fucking musicians that do this shit, that don't know what I know, and they try to tell me. So at least have the facts, but they don't want to be about the facts because it sort of takes away their influence in it, and it takes away their importance because, oh, now I have to give it up to actually conform to the facts. So, like, they don't ever count the fact that I already did that coming to the table. I put my own opinions to the side because I'm actually trying to be the one conform to the facts, and it's just,
incontrovertible, undisputable evidence that, you know what I mean? It's really personal preference and style, and it's based on how hard you hit the string and cause the pickup to work. And like I said in that previous guitar tone video, if you have like a metal guitar with a metal pickup and a metal amp with a metal sound and tone setting, you can't complain when it doesn't come out clear on the mic. And so now you have to use the digital shit to make it like more consistent and super tight on the top end with the equipment. You're not doing it with your technique. So that's why you don't have a looser, more open, passive sound. It's not about better or worse. It's not a big deal. But like, they don't even know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know anything that's happening, basically. And they think their subjective way is the ultimate way. And I have all the facts. And I'm saying it's never going to be that way for anybody. Not me or you or anybody, because it's based on how you play. So can you just admit it and accept it that your sound setting is not the objective truth and my sound setting is not the objective truth and it's personal preference? Like, your opinion might be that you like the digital amp sim better. But then when you go to mix it, it's like it doesn't translate. Or I might like the amp better, but then it lacks the clarity. So it's a trade-off. And they don't like that. The facts are, the unbiased, objective facts are that it's a trade-off. It's like, I can get the realism, the impact, and the warmth with the amp mic, but it just might not have the same tightness and clarity. That's okay to me, because I could just mix it and get it back. You see what I mean? Because I'm a real audio engineer, a sound scientist. It's a trade-off. So you get the warmth, the realism, and the impact with the amp, but it might lack some clarity. With the digital, you have the clarity, but it lacks the realism and the impact and the warmth, because it's not a fucking mic in a room with the room acoustics and early reflections and the absorption coefficient and all the shit these guys are uneducated and inexperienced on don't understand plays into the equation. And it's not just a mic on an amp. The fucking synthetic digital shit is impossible to replicate that, because it's quite literally not in a room. It's a digital fucking algorithm trying to copy it the best it can. But like, even so, the point is, it's a trade-off. So you see what I mean? Like, one has the one and lacks the other. The other has the one and lacks the other. The only way you're ever going to get both is really, really, really good experienced audio mixing with the amp, or it's like the greatest friggin' technology ever with the digital. The point is, we don't get both usually. But like, I can get the clarity and response back with the amp and the mic through like 20 years of mixing experience. I can get that back. So what do I care if I lose some response and clarity? What do I care? It's an authentic thing, which is what the whole point of it is anyway, you see? So the guys will lack the mixing experience, the mic placement, all that shit, and can't get the clarity back if they used the amp. And they don't understand how biased and skewed their perception is. Because like I said, it's about two things. Number one, it's a perceptual experience. So when you're listening to music, audio, and sound, it's a perception issue. So you're perceiving without knowing you're doing it, without knowing it's happening. You're perceiving the room that's actually playing into the equation. I don't care if you crank the amp and put the mic right on it. The room is still a factor in it, because like, no matter how small and negligible, it's a factor. It's a microphone doing what it's doing, right? So no matter how direct you put it, it's still going to play into the equation. The room itself is not an impossible laboratory vacuum, you know what I mean, with the mic on the amp, and it's just like, it's never going to be soundproof, it's never going to be perfect, it's just what it is. And you have to accept that it's preference. I'm not just a songwriter, I'm not just an audio engineer, I'm not just one. So I have significant experience and seasoning as a professional with it. We're talking about idiot guys about the synthetic, the ultra modern cutting edge shit. They always got to have it. But it's like, then they'll bitch to me at the end that they can't get it to sound like on my records. Why is the guitar so characteristic and good? And they've actually said it without knowing that it was an amp with a mic. They didn't know what it was, but they complimented it. This is why they're a bunch of fucking contradicting hypocrites. This is why they're in denial. You'll compliment it without knowing what it is, but because you attach to a particular narrative, like you contradict yourself and go against your own argument because you didn't know it was an amp. But you told me that my sound was amazing on the song Arachnophobia. You said the fucking guitar was like really, it jumps out at you. And you had to see these guys' faces melt into liquid goo when I told them it's a $300 amp with a $99 mic on it. And it's just good mixing experience. Like, and they couldn't fucking believe it. And then I brought the amp to his house and played it. And I'm like, do you get it now? And he's like, yeah. So I'm like, dude, stop attaching to corporate marketing. Stop attaching to particular narratives and legacy and prestige about it. And start being about the facts. And a man who's really about the facts will give up his ego and close-mindedness and conditioning to accept the new information that challenges his current belief. Okay? Somebody who's actually about the facts is going to do that. And everybody else is a fucking hypocrite and a fraud. Everybody else is a closed-minded dickhead that thinks they know, but they don't really know. Right? So even I'm admitting, yes, I'm biased towards the amp. But I also say in the same breath, in the same sentence, nothing's better than the other. It's about the application and the utility of it. So what I'm going to do is, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the guitar pan in the left speaker and the guitar pan in the right, and I'm going to 50-50 it with the digital and the amp. Boom, problem solved, levels and volume solved, frequencies and EQs solved in one move. I'm gonna get the best of both worlds in each side. So I have like a quad guitar sound, but it's really just two guitars. It's one in the left and one in the right, and each one is 50-50 with the amp. So now I have the response, impact, and penetration and warmth of the amp, and the realism and authenticity, and I have the clarity of the synthetic. That's what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be 50-50 volume in each side of both. And that's the answer. That's the answer. So again, it's a perceptual experience of like, you can't tell me some AI digital algorithm, fucking neural DSP, head rush bullshit is gonna sound like a room. At the end of the day, no matter how negligible and small the room plays into the mic, is the same negligible and small that the digital's doing it. So what are we talking about here? Splitting hairs and arguing just to argue. They're both good. It's just nobody can tell you as an artist what the song really needs. Nobody's gonna know but you, dude. So just always stay open-minded and flexible and dynamic and do pragmatic and spontaneous solution whenever shit comes up. And you'll never be a fucking hypocrite. You'll never be a fucking fraud. You'll never be a walking contradiction like these guys attached to the narratives, attached to marketing and brand names, attached to what their favorite fucking band is using and doing. Like, you have no fucking balls, you have no fucking courage, you have no fucking identity, just copying shit. That's not you. That's you trying to live out you through them and what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing wrong with it, but just you can't tell me that it's you. So you have to choose between and that's why I was saying it's a perceptual experience. I can tell what's happening when I'm playing. So that was the 1 out of 2 points I was making. No, the second one I never finished was, like I'm saying, it's a perceptual experience and you're basing it based on how you're playing. Okay, great, fine, but expanding on that. There's a feel, if what I'm saying is there's a feel to it, like there's a feel as I hit the string and it's flubbery and saggy in a good way, or it's really crisp and tight, there's a feel that I'm feeling with the sound. It's not just hearing, but I'm actually feeling like how are the pickups responding? How is the pick attack and the clarity and articulation? How is it feeling and not just hearing? Okay, great, I established that. Now, expanding into the second point about artistry and being an artist, and only you can know. The thing is, I'm probably going to go with the amp, because if I'm feeling the sag and the tightness, if I'm feeling the amp responding, the question is, isn't it just about capturing a passionate performance? That's what it's about. It's not even about the fucking gear. That's what they don't get. It's about capturing a passionate performance. And it was a good take, and he played it tight, and everything's good, and it's on time, and it's in pitch, and everything's good, right? No big deal. What's the fucking issue? There's nothing else to worry about. There's nothing left to fight over. It's just, are you doing good songwriting or not? That's the question. Are you doing a passionate performance or not? Because if that's what you're doing, it's going to come across in both. It's going to come across either way. So in finally settling this debate, it's personal preference. Get over it. Your ego that's trying to bully you and bully its way into the picture for importance, you know what I mean? Because it thinks that if it doesn't, it's elimination and it's going to die and it's dead. So these people personally let their own ego bully them into the equation. And then they go try to do business and work with other people. And then, like, I'm not going to take you serious. You're letting your own ego bully you into the picture. And now you're letting it affect us and everybody else, and insisting and refusing and shackling everybody in the process, because you can't control your own ego's need for importance and actually be about the fact, I'm not doing business with you. You know what I mean? You can't work with people like that, because they're a hostage to their own tyrannical ego. They're a fucking mess psychologically. So how's anybody else going to work with them and expect it to go smooth and according to plan? It's like, fuck all that. That's why people like me that earn their stripes don't work with those people, or, you know what I mean? And we end up raising the prices, because it ensures that only the serious people come to the table. You know what I mean? There's no room for fucking ego and posturing and fraud, pretending. We're trying to be about shit and make important projects and get work and jobs done, right? So the point is, once again, if I'm trying to capture a passionate performance, the mic is just still going to do a better job. But like, that's what it's really all about in the grand scheme, is like, it's not like, stop arguing over the equipment. Stop making the gear acquisition syndrome the fucking furnace or whatever. What do they call it? The chandelier centerpiece. It's like, you know what I mean? That's not important. Artistry is. Songwriting is. Playing well is. So you could fucking record it and not waste 8 hours like trying to, you know what I mean? When you should have just fucking rehearsed and then go to the studio. So the point is, like, it ultimately is insignificant in the grand scheme, which is being a songwriter, being an artist, and playing it good enough to fucking function. Like, you see what I'm saying? You see how they attach their whole identity and ego and confidence and happiness to this unimportant shit, ultimately? Like, you see what I mean? As Darth Vader said, all of this bullshit is ultimately insignificant next to the power of the Force. You know what I'm saying? It's true. It's like, are you actually a practitioner that's good at what you do? Are you good at playing and writing? If not, I don't care. I don't care about the equipment. I don't care about the pickups. I don't care about the guitar or the amp or anything. If I'm an engineer doing a job, I don't give a fuck. Like, just play the fucking thing. You know what I mean? Let's get it done. We can mix it till it's good. It's just, they'll sit there arguing and never get anything done. And it's really, the conflicts and arguments never start for me. The ultimate final answer at the bottom line of the sheet of paper, the bottom line, solution. And the simple fact is this: ending this debate once and for all. Digital amp sim versus real mic. Like, and it still sounded good with the friggin' mic crooked that I just showed you what happened. It still was so good. Like, I didn't even notice it the whole time I was recording. I was like, oh, I gotta redo that whole thing. I knocked it over to the side with the cable. So I gotta redo it. And that's another fucking thing. I'm old school with that shit too. I'm old school and traditional, dude. It's better to just get a better take than the fix it later in the mix guys that are fucking lazy and cut corners. No, you're gonna fucking get off your ass and practice. You're gonna not be lazy and you're gonna be good at what you do. You're gonna get out of my studio. So the point is, it's always better to just get a better take. You think I want to listen to some guy's shitty ass voice for fucking 4 hours trying to mix his vocal and make it in pitch and in time with the Vari Audio or the Melodyne or whatever, the New Tone and Fruity Loop? You think I want to do that, or can he push a little bit extra and go a little bit extra mile, stop being a fat lazy fuck and get the good take? So then there's minimal After Effects required. There's minimal post-production work. There's minimal shit that has to be done. So basically your fucking laziness is trying to make me have more work, like later. So your lack of willingness to do the upfront shit, to initially get everything good that you can, and you expect that to translate into more work for me on the back end, get the fuck out of here. There's always more that both people can do. So I know in a signal chain, I know in the studio, the more stuff you initially do correctly, you won't even need it. You won't even need the work later. So forget about it. Like, let's just meet in the middle. It's got to be a good engineer and good clients that both of them shake hands in an agreement and like get to the table working. You know what I'm saying? It's not about all this fucking shit. You're trying to just be important. Like, I don't care if you have 50 fucking guitars. I don't care. Just pick the one that sounds like what you want it to sound like. You know what I mean? Because ultimately, again, do you think anybody listening to a song knows what you used they don't know. They don't care. They're just like, an average person is just like, give me a song. That's what I care about. Give me a fucking tune that I can hum and bob my head to and call it a day. Like, see what I mean? It's not important. And like, again, that's why, again, you're either writing or not. You're playing good or not. But you should never expect an audio engineer, a mix engineer, to do all this shit on the back end, like, because you're fucking lazy. You know what I mean? It has to be a collaborative effort, period, end of story. And it's ultimately about the songwriting, not the equipment, not how much music theory you know, not any of this shit. Because I proved in the other video dissecting this shit surgically about music theory is not important to songwriting. And that caused a whole shitstorm. And it's like, it's the same thing with the dating coaching. If that was actually true, you wouldn't have X, Y, and Z, but you have it everywhere all the time. It's not true. It's just an excuse these guys use so they don't have to do anything. Because if they went out and hit the pavement and put the groundwork in, they would find out that it wasn't true and I sound ridiculous using these excuses. They use it so they don't have to do anything. You see what I mean? Because now they can just explain it away. Oh, well, I need this, this, and this, or it's never going to work, but they won't go find out. And then everybody who did never says that shit, and they only speak from experience. So again, it's like theories, tactics, and strategies, studies, and statistics is what people who with no experience say. And a whole bunch of anger and resentment. They're not going out and experiencing it to find out, and then only speaking from experience and abandoning all these cliches and platitudes. I don't care if it's music or dating, it's the same things over and over. The same low vibrational negative loser talk, guys. The same laziness and fear and insecurity and shit causes them to create like a whole story before they've ever done anything, and they shot themselves in the foot before they've ever done anything. So, yeah, but you know, right? And I don't, right? And this is all I've done for 2 decades. You've done nothing but, right, I don't know what I'm talking about. You do. Sure, I'd love to work with people like that. Sign me up.